Where have I been reading around? Tressie McMillan Cottom is one of the foremost intellectuals of our time. She's a sociologist, writer, cultural critic, professor, and recipient of a MacArthur Genius Grant. McMillan Cottom's searing treatises on everything cultural, ranging from ugliness to thinness to AI, is entrancing. Her range is tremendous. I think she's goated, as the kids say. In an essay on her Substack called Essaying, Tressie describes what I've been doing over the past several years, something called reading around. She describes it thusly. When you want to understand a topic, the traditional approach is to go to Google or to an encyclopedia and learn everything you can about that thing. The who, the what, the where, the when. And she uses Dolly Parton as an example. Dolly Parton's life and career is so expansive, it would take a long time to learn everything using the census approach. Instead of this, Dr. McMillan Cottom argues that we should read around the topic. Quote, I would have all the facts of her life pretty much straight and, I presume, a well-researched document at the end of it that is boring as mud on a stick, because why should we care? What does it mean? That's what we want, especially in a world as complex as ours. We aren't just looking for facts. We're looking for meaning. And on the way to our search for meaning, it becomes really easy to confuse us about the facts. In the case of Dolly, we want to better understand what Dolly is, not just a matter of her parts, white, southern, blonde, but what her parts mean. What does it mean to be a country singer, a blonde woman, an attractive woman? And then she created a reading list that reads around Miss Parton. This proclivity of mine to read and understand deeply has kept me away from YouTube. In the past decade, I've watched cultural analysis go from being rare and precious to pretty boilerplate, barely palatable, and a touch predictable. Morality seems to be the cornerstone of most analysis channels, which is why fellow sociologists like Ph.D. signifier and even untrained but just as brilliant cultural critics like Kim Foster and Olay are so rare. Sometimes the answer is to ask more questions, to gain a deeper understanding rather than carving sharper sticks. YouTube feels like an ecosystem of very sharp sticks, and sharp sticks aren't my preferred tools. I'm trying to imagine and cultivate a future that centers instead around rigor, pleasure, and connectivity. And that's the ethos of this channel. I'm really less interested in discussing all the reasons why something is problematic and more interested in uncovering what it means and why it means. Not because I think problematic things don't exist or are unimportant, or because I think what I'm interested in will solve the problem. I promise you. Cultural analysis videos are not the solution. Real life is. But I want to do this because I hope it will help me think more deeply and engage others who feel similarly and want to figure out more about this tricky little thing called life. I want to give an example using one of the topics that are discussed to death, but typically lack depth. So if you search for female rap analyses on YouTube, you will find a plethora of videos about rap beefs, flopping, quote unquote, lack of talent, mundanity, and most recently being a bird. To read around female rapdom might be to think about aesthetics, glamour, or social capital. Social sanctioning is key here. What sort of aesthetic choices are most rewarded in hip hop and which are overlooked? How are Black women cast as automatically less worthy and talented by virtue of being Black women? I think often of the constant derogation of modern female rappers, the most popular of whom share an aesthetic, right? So a sleek bust down, baby hair, hypersexual tight-fitting clothes, lyrics about money, sex, fame, and haters, of course. I think about how they aren't appreciated for their individual talents or idiosyncrasies of their artistry, but rather discarded as Nicki Minaj knockoffs, who is also discarded as a little Kim knockoff. By contrast, modern day male rappers are not held to this standard. No one says X rapper should give flowers to the rappers of yore, and therein lies the problem. Female rap is seen as a problem to be solved rather than an art form that moves the culture forward more significantly than arguably any other female-driven music genre. Being a cultural arbiter matters little when Black women do it, but matters only when a more deserving face, if you will, is put on it. And speaking of the WNBA, I've recently become a fan. I love an underdog story. I love women. I love queer people. I love the discipline and tenacity that it takes to be a professional athlete. This is something that I hope to explore because female rap and female-led sports, women's sports, are talked about all the time, but there seems to be little interest in understanding it more deeply. There's a horse race mentality when it comes to these domains. Anything related to femininity seems to be about pitting or creating a competition between the leaders or the emerging stars of that field, and less about understanding the topics of their lives with more nuance and curiosity. And so with that, I really want this channel to stand in as something that I see is really missing from the space. And I want to create a colloquium where I can come give a talk and create a space for feedback from other people. I really think that knowledge is best built in a community of people. And of course, that requires good faith, that requires grace, that requires a sense of humor, which in my opinion seems to be quite lacking from social media spaces writ large, and in particular on YouTube, but that's not an excuse to not engage the work. And so I hope that for who's ever still here and who's ever joining me now, you will join my colloquium. I will talk to you soon.